Greetings, y'all. It's Matt from the Green Arcade. We're back playing some more Farming Simulator 25. We're planting again. Planting the world. So, while we were down, we got the cotton finished. Planted sunflower over here on the western field. Decided to do, I hadn't done sunflower a whole lot, so I was like, yeah, I'll go ahead and do some sunflower. And we're planting corn over here. So we're going to try to get the corn done today. And maybe go through and maybe do some more mowing. I don't know. We're kind of out of grass. We ran out of grass bales over there, so. All right, let me set up the steering assist. Change that to 0. 2 in rows. I don't know where the rooster's at. There's a rooster on this island somewhere, but I don't know where it's at. It's out there somewhere. Okay. I'm gonna need fuel soon. Alright, I think I can probably turn my lines off. But hopefully we can get done with the planting today, and I don't know, maybe we'll mow, maybe we won't. The grass is still the meadow grass, so it won't technically be ready until June. But if that's the case, we may just wait until the corn grows and we can get the forage harvesters going on it, getting the chaff, and then we'll mow early fall, late fall, something like that. Sounds like a plan to me anyway. So it's very rare, I haven't watched very much news. Apparently there's a lot of stuff going on, because I looked at some posts this morning, and there's like this big apparent chemical tank. Man, I'm moving fast. How fast am I planting? Wait a minute. I'm going like 31 miles an hour with the planter down the field. Is it still planting? I am planting at 20, well, 30, well, it was 30 something miles an hour, so that's weird. As long as it's going in the ground. I mean, these are modified planters, so. Alright, I'm going uphill now. This feels more right. Okay. But anyway, where was I? Apparently there's like this big chemical tank out in California that's about to like end humanity locally, so they've had to evacuate like 40,000, 60,000 people out of the area. Good morning, Big Al. Good morning, Twitchy. And apparently they had a, well, I guess what would be like a active shooter or something at the White House too. There were some reporters outside, like doing a report, like, you know, they do their like commentary stuff outside in the tents on the White House lawn, and it caught it on camera. It sounded like I think they said 20 to 30 gunshots rung out. I'm like, what? That's what I get for not watching the news. The one time I don't really watch the news, and stuff happens. And apparently there's some big deal going on with Iran too. So, because they were reporting that the executive branch administration, you know, President Trump and all the rest of them, had canceled all their plans, all their Memorial Day plans, and they were all headed to the White House, and apparently they've been in the Oval Office like all night working on something, so I don't know. Don't know what's about to happen, don't know what's about to go down. But today we're farming. That's all I know. Oh, we're putting the corn in the ground. Shouldn't take long. The only thing I really checked on was if there was anything new in the farm sim world. Only a couple of things, just a couple of mods. One of them was released in the mod hub, I think, for everybody, for both PC and console. And I'm gonna have to go look it up because I cannot remember the name. Morning, Jeff. Yeah, I don't know anymore. It's whatever's about to go down. It's either gonna be something really good or something really not good. So I don't know. All right, just make sure you switched over to corn on that planter. It should be, but I think you are. Looks like you are. Yeah, look to see if there's anything new from Celebuki or, anybody like that. And there wasn't anything new. But the new mod is going to be under seed tanks. And it's going to be this one right here, the Alpago? Alpago? I don't know. This one does 2,400 to 3,200 liters of either seed or fertilizer. So that's a whole lot more than what we've been used to. 2,200 for the both the Vaterstads. That was maxed out. So now the solid stuff we can do up to 3,200. There's like a planter and either a seeder or a cultivator. I can't remember which one, but those attachments come with that tank. Look at this. I am flying. We will have this planted in no time. I feel like I should be playing Danger Zone by Kenny Loggins and kick the tires and light the fires and I've even got to hit the brake there. Turning too fast. The danger zone. Do. That's one thing. That's one advantage that the Fent does have over the Kloss brand is that the Fent, it has that higher speed. So this tractor will go 39, and the Kloss I think are restricted to like everybody else. All the other brands have most of their tractors. Some of the tractors is sometimes less, but most of them are going to be restricted to 32 miles an hour, 33 miles an hour, something like that. And then sometimes it's slower, sometimes it's 26 miles an hour. And if it's a smaller tractor, it could be even down lower, 20 miles an hour, 18 miles an hour. But the Fence, it goes 39. And then if you go to the JCB, I think those go even faster. I'd have to go and look and see what the speeds are on those. I think it's like 41. Unless you get that one. And that one goes 100 and, 100 and something? Yeah, 159. But the tractors, we must be in the save right there because it's locked up on me. 37 and then 43. That's the other one. 43 miles an hour. So if you want a faster tractor, Panther JCB. There we go. 30 miles an hour, 31. 30. I'm kind of going downhill, so that's why I think it's a little faster, but I almost feel like I'm Tokyo drifting trying to turn there. Yeah, we'll knock this out pretty fast. So I'm thinking maybe we can go and mow where I have not created a field yet. Just where there's grass at up there. We'll mow some of the meadow grass. There's some meadow grass still kind of left around some of the fields out here that we made. Even around this one a little bit. Just so we have something to put in the silos over there. I think the strategy is probably going to be dedicated grass fields because you'll have a higher yield on those if you use the silage additive. Yep, there's a port. There's only one. It's right down here. This is where you'll take all your products to. This is where the shop is at. It's where the animal dealer's at. There's a water tank tower thing down there. There's the fuel thing down there. Quite a few things down there. There's a lime station. There's an electric charge station. So if you wanted to have something electric, you could do that. And then there's a boat dock down there. Boat dock is right there. This is an isolated island. I don't know if this would be based maybe in the South Pacific or the Bahamas or somewhere in the Caribbean, you know. I don't know. Whatever the case be, we are an export-only island. All of our goods get exported to the other islands and, you know, stuff like that. The only thing we import is toilet paper and, gosh, what else? What are the other necessities? What are all the ingredients for pizza? Basically, we have all the ingredients for pizza flown in or boated in. I guess this day and age, they might be flown in by drone. We'll have our pepperoni dropped from the sky by an Amazon drone. I think drones are probably, you know, that would be, somebody was asking yesterday what we would like to see or what we thought we could see in the next farming simulator game. I think drones would be probably a big one because that's becoming a pretty big market. You're seeing a lot more drones like flying out and spraying the fields. So I think that would be a thing. Still think there's room for more. Still think that we could. I still think that some type of dynamic ground will be a thing in the future. Because if they ever want to bring in excavators, backhoes, box scrapers, and have them do tasks other than, you know, become like another cultivator or plow, they're going to have to redo the groundwork completely and make it to where you can dig with all this stuff and turn the ground basically into dynamic ground. You're going to have to completely rebuild that from the ground up, literally. Think about all the stuff that you could have, levelers and scrapers, and there's a whole world of equipment. And there's already some existing equipment in the game, like the wheel loaders and stuff like that. And there are some maps that allow you to use those for, you know, different things. Even the Silver Run map that they introduced back in 22, you could do the iron ore and pick up that stuff. But that's kind of, nah, it's not really the same thing. Even mining's not really the same thing because it's still just dropping the static loose bulk product, whatever it is, whether it be iron ore, whether it be um, wood chips on the ground, whether it be, you know, any of that. And we've been able to pick up wood chips with a loader since, well, at least since 15. What I'm talking about is actually being able to terraform the ground. And I know there's mods out there, but bringing it in game and having in game equipment for all that stuff, that would be pretty big. Again, I think orchards would still be a big one. Think about on this tropical island that we're on, we could have banana trees. We could have like mango trees, kiwi, pineapples, all that stuff. Good morning. Welcome in. Alright. I am down to nothing on fertilizer. So it looks like it does use the liquid fertilizer faster, so probably going to need to invest in a front tank. So since I'm kind of going by the farm here anyway, I'm going to drop my weight off and buy a tank. I'll get one, I'll get a Fent one and a Kloss themed one. So Fuzzy, when you get back to the shop down yonder, you should be able to pick one up too. And I need to get some fuel while I'm here. Let's see, we don't want a milk tank. Don't want a water tank. Don't want a diesel tank. We want a fertilizer tank. And our tank colors are Fent Nature Green. And what color do we want our straps to be? Do we want them to be Fent red straps? Yeah, we'll do that. And then the pump color we always do silver on. So this is the realistic capacity, I think, for this tank, 3,000 liters. I think I'm going to go with that. This will do 25,000 liters or 50,000 liters on the unrealistic side. All right, so now all I got to do is change the main color to Kloss green. I could make them just standard white for both, but yeah, we'll keep the Kloss green. All right. I think I probably need to invest in doing the tanks at the farm. I will say having these drawbars makes a difference. Because if you hook one of these tractors, I think it's the TerraTrack, if you hook the TerraTrack up, is this thing backwards? If you hook the TerraTrack up to it, you cannot turn, you can turn about that far. That's it. But with the drawbar on there, it gives you the freedom to turn almost at a 90-degree angle. So, let's see. Can I maneuver in here? Probably gonna have to reposition here. There we go. Alright, now get some fuel, and then I should be ready to get back to the field. No, Fuzzy, the fuel is at the shop. The fuel tank is right there on the... right behind it, right on the ocean side, on the back side of the shop. Morning, Sean. Yeah, you're right. It's going to be a rough day for racing. I know, Sean, you're a big racing NASCAR fan, big racing fan, and a lot of racing fans out there, and it's going to be a tough day today. It's going to be weird. Been watching Kyle Busch, oh man, for a long time, and gonna be definitely difficult for a lot. Good morning, Steven. How's it going? Yeah, he drove the M&M car. Some people called him Candyman. I just knew him as Kyle Busch. Yeah, I remember when he first got started. I think the final report was that he had pneumonia, and he ended up setting up sepsis from that. I know the reports were that he had been coughing, and he was coughing up blood in his bathroom floor, I think. But it sounds like he had a really bad case of pneumonia. Probably some infection and developed sepsis. When you're basically, it kind of spreads. The infection kind of spreads pretty bad. Anybody that has sepsis is usually in really, really bad shape. Yeah. All right. We got it in. So I think now what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and go through summer, skip mowing the grass, and we'll have a little bit of silage to sell. Probably, what is it now? April. Probably in late May or June we'll sell some silage. I've got to buy some equipment, so that's what we'll buy out of the silage money. We've got a little bit of money right now, but we've got to buy at least one forage harvester and then at least one cotton harvester as well. So this here for right now. And I'm gonna go do some sleeping. Take me a spring nap. Let's see, is there anything on sale before I go? Just a little messy, that's fine. Alright, we will go to, what time is it now? Almost 9 o'clock, it's like 8:30. Yeah, kind of is a waste of time rolling. I mean, you get a little bit of a bonus, but it's not a huge chunk. Your biggest chunks on what really matters for the time being would be make sure you have both fertilization states, because that accounts for 50% of your yield. So 25% and 25%. The next one would be weeds. If you plow your ground before you plant it, then you won't have any weeds. But if you don't do that, then make sure that you either use a weeder, use the rotary hoe, or you spray for weeds. That's a pretty big one. And then everything else is just dependent on what you use, what you have turned on. There's the liming. I think that I want to say that's 15%, but don't quote me on that number. We don't lime. There's mulching after you harvest. You can do that, but that's about the same equivalent to rolling. So there's not a huge chunk of yield loss there from either of those. Check sales again. Nope. I think we're good there. I'm gonna watch the sales and see if anything goes on sale. I think our loan is all paid back though. We shouldn't have a loan out right now. Check our stuff here. Everything's still running. A couple of these are about to be out of grass, but they're still processing, so I'll leave them on. The loan. This make sure we don't have a loan out. Shouldn't have one. No, we paid all that back. Okay. But if you wanted to, nothing wrong with playing that way if you wanted to do all that extra stuff. It just won't show you, by not doing that stuff, you might get like a 97% doing just the stuff that I said on the yield bonus. So yeah, each one rolling, mulching, I mean, it's like maybe 1 point something percent. Okay, these are out, so I will shut these down. And these last 3 are still processing. So 1, 4, and 5 are still processing. No, we don't use precision farming. Rain, rain. Okay, those are still processing. Be nice to have some type of cotton harvester on sale. Not seeing one though. All right, that one's out of grass. These are low. I always can't remember if I checked it or not. Another cloth tractor, but it's one of the small ones. They should run out quite soon. Okay, that one's out and that one's out. So all of our fermenting silos are out. What's the price on silage right now? Morning, Tomcat. How's it going? Did I pass it? Yep. It's 218 right now. It's not bad. I think we'll wait on that because I think it'll go up. Oh, look, another Jeep on sale. Guess I need to hit the save button. The trick with this, at least on my end, on the PC end here, if you scroll down to what you want to look at, and I want to look at silage, and I want to keep an eye on that, is to save the game from right there. Save from there and then go back And it should go back to silage when I go back into the pricing menu, unless I change, the tab up there. So we're still at 218. We'll keep going. We're in July now. Nothing else, we should be making a little bit of money from our solar panels. I think hopefully it outweighs the fee costs. Yeah, we're doing 1,400 on the solar panels, and then property maintenance is only 200 and something. So there's another Fendt tractor that we already own one of, so we'll pass on that. And then I'll have to stop in August, maybe? August or September, I think, sunflowers, you can harvest those. And a lot of the same stuff going on sale. Let's see, sunflowers. No, it's October. So I guess it's going to be everything in October. Corn October. Cotton in October. Yep, everything's going to be ready in October. Menu scroll memory. Yeah, it's okay. I think it'll be all right. You get to a point where you get so many mods that they'll start having issues with each other. Just takes a few extra seconds to scroll down a little further. Called the menu scroll memory. I'll take a look at it and see what it looks like, but all right, August. Yeah, see, it stays on silage there. So it's still at 218. I know they replaced Kyle Busch's number for the car today. What did they replace it with? Was it 33? I think it was 33. Well, we go forever, seeing forage harvesters on sale. I'm not seeing any though. I'm probably gonna have to buy them at full price. All right, it's September now. That silage price is not fluctuating at all. Nope. All right, let's go in October, and then we'll buy some stuff. Rip TeamSpeak again? Is TeamSpeak down? Nope, no forage harvesters on sale. Yeah, we'll just have to buy one at the full price. But before we do that, let's go sell some silage. Cotton's ready to go. One of these is not full. I'm gonna top this one off. You can go ahead and run down there and start selling, Fuzzy. I'm gonna top this one off and then come back and we'll fill up what we've got left here. Run out here and look at the grass real quick while Fuzzy's running down that way. Yep, so the meadow grass is ready to go. So we will be working on some stuff today. We'll get our cotton picker going. We'll get forage harvester running on the corn. Actually, we probably should have done that back in September on the corn, but yeah, it'll still work. Magically, it still works. Even when it's fully grown. And then we'll get our main harvester on the sunflower. Go ahead and look into our forage harvesters here. So the fence is probably going to be the cheapest big one at $469.5. The cloth is $625. Or we could go with the little cloths at 60 grand. So one thing for sure, we will definitely need a cotton. Let me do the cotton one first. what's cheaper. I think the case is going to be cheaper, but the round ones. How much is that one? These are the small ones. I really would like to have the bigger one, the stripper. Probably looking at $1 million here. Just leave everything, try to leave everything standard. All right, we're going to get one of these. There you go, fill up again, Fuzzy. Sell my load here. I'm gonna go get this stripper going. We'll do auto because it's already going north and south, and we'll go from there. Why is he firing himself? What am I doing wrong? Is it one of those things where they gotta be just barely in the field, or? It is ready to harvest. Ready to harvest. It's cotton. Ready to harvest. Do I need to change that to 0? Try that. Why is he not wanting to hire? What am I doing wrong? I think the fence is too close. Well, let me try it manually. can do it manually. I wonder if the fence there is too close. Try this again. Still not wanting to go. I don't know. What am I doing wrong? I wonder if it's the fence. Well, we'll get rid of the fence. Maybe it's got to have the room to turn around or something. How do I get rid of the fence like that? All right, we'll just have to hope they don't roll off in the ocean. Okay, it wasn't the fence. Wonder why this won't roll. I wonder if I can put it on steering assist and it'll load up. Turn the line on. Okay, it loads the steering assist. It allows me to lock onto that. I'm gonna have to do these. I may have to do this manually. Unless it's the fence on the other end. Because there is fence on the other end as well. Maybe it like detects a collidable or something. Let me try it now. Here it is. That's the steering. Let me go back to AI. 2-0. Nope, it didn't want to hire out. Anybody got any ideas why this is not hiring out? Wonder if there's a tree on the edge of the field down here in the way. I had an issue with trees on the edge, right too close to the field. Let me run around this field real quick. And we'll see if that's the problem. When I was planting the sunflower field, I had that issue. That might be it. Let me get rid of these trees. Turn on that. I don't think these would be in the way, but I think it would be these little bushes. They're not collidable. Alright, let me run back up the other side because I don't see any more trees down this way. Big Al, that's a Lumberjack mod. I do believe that is a PC only mod, but it is in the in-game PC mod hub. Basically, you just activate the mod, and then bring your chainsaw out, and it's Alt twice. You double press Alt on your keyboard twice to turn on delete, and basically just turn your chainsaw to where it doesn't show a green circle, and then instead of the yellow circle, you know, the yellow circle is the standard circle for without it being activated, so you just turn it until you see the red circle. If you turn it all the way over, it's still going to show green. But if you turn it at an angle like that right there, you'll see that red circle. That means delete. If you don't want to do tree work and you just want to get rid of the trees, it's the fastest method that I've seen. Yeah, I bet some of these trees are causing that not to hire out. It's seeing these collidables and it's mapping them out on the edge of the field here. They may just be too close. And this also, if you got just a few little bushes to get rid of, this also gets rid of the bushes too. So you can just go through it, delete them. But if you have a lot of bushes, we also use the reel mower mod. Turn that on and it will mow out the bushes. Yeah, I bet these trees are too close. These right here are really close. I bet it's this one right here is causing that problem. Maybe get rid of Again, I don't think the bushes are the problem. It's got to be the trees. I miss the chainsaw sounds from 15 and 17. They were a lot better back then. Alright, I think that's everything. So let's try this again. See if that was the problem. Nope, it still doesn't want to hire out. Well, I'm gonna have to do these ends manually, and then I'll try to go back and hire out the just the inside part. I don't know why that's not working. Kind of curious if it'll be the other crops too, or just cotton. Orange soda time. Alright, Fuzzy, if you want to get started on the sunflowers, you can go cut those if you want to. It's got the combine's got the sunflower header on it. One of the few things that went on sale, along with the combine itself. So we've got the 12-meter sunflower header. Kind of why I planted not soybeans, sunflower over there. I was like, well, you know what? That's on sale. That's on sale. We'll do sunflowers. One of those things we don't do a whole lot of, but it'd be a nice change of pace. And then if you want to take one of the trucks over there, you can just empty into one of the trucks. Just drive the combine and empty it, park it down at one end of the field and just empty into it. Alright, I'm going to take my first break. We're going to end the YouTube video for the YouTube guys out there. So everybody on YouTube, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. We're probably going to be doing the same thing. It's harvest time here on the island. So until then, until the next time, remember you reap what you sow. It's Matt from the Grand Arcade. We'll see you later, YouTube. Bye.